listening to We Watch Movies,
I'm Ava,
and I'm Jenna.
and we watch movies. So this week we watched The Suicide Squad, which is the much anticipated kind of sequel kind of thing of Suicide Squad. So this kind of universe-ish thing. I don't know if these are in the what is it called, DCEU or something. I'm not entirely sure if I think it's canon. I think they're canon to Justice League and everything. Don't quote me on that. I'm a Marvel kid. Um, but anyways, so there was originally Suicide Squad, which is the whole Jared Leto Joker thing. That had the Enchantress or something as the main villain. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was kind of bleh. And then right before the pandemic took out movie theaters, Birds of Prey came out, which is Harley Quinn being a baddie, and a couple of other strong women being baddies. So that's pretty cool. That was a pretty good movie. And then this one came out, kind of trying to redeem Suicide Squad, and I have to say it's a little confusing between Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad, but I'll forgive it because I honestly really liked it. So we're going to talk about that this week. And yeah, so Jenna, do you want to tell me what your initial reactions were?
Well, to go off of what you said about whether or not this is the DCEU, I think it's just easiest to say that it's another installment in the Harley Quinn cinematic universe at this point. But anyway, I digress. I enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. Maybe I'm a little biased because I did watch it with other people. But even then, I had a good time. I found it leagues better than Suicide Squad, the one that came out years ago. And it definitely had its own style. It was just better in every way. And it was also just really well done in ways that I didn't anticipate in ways that I did.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got the James Gunn vibes of it all. I don't know, Jenna, do you know James Gunn?
I think the only things I've seen by him are the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah, but you could get the same vibes, right?
Yes.
So I very much appreciated his vibes in this context. Let me look up who directed the original Suicide Squad. So the original, that is the wrong one. Okay, see, even Google's confused. It's Suicide Squad versus The Suicide Squad. It's what am I supposed to do with this? The original director was David Ayer. I don't know who that is, but I do appreciate James Gunn being awesome. But anyways, I just totally lost my train of thought, dude. Right out of the gate, 3 minutes in. But honestly, having your main climax villain just being a massive starfish, I thought was really it was ridiculous, but it wasn't obnoxious. You know, the comedy in this movie, it was just so much of it was just ridiculous, but it worked, and I really liked that.
Yes, because this movie is absurd at times, and while it's definitely not a not serious movie, it doesn't try to take itself seriously I think other movies would try to. It just leaned in to the fact that this is just so ridiculous that it made the humor work. And when the giant starfish comes out at the end and that's the climax of your movie, it just seems like a regular day on the job for this movie. And I really liked that.
Literally, this movie had me buying into this guy who could shoot polka dots as his superpower. And I was like, wow, this guy's cool. He's kicking butt, you know? And then I was like, wait, but his power is polka dots. But it worked. It's definitely similar in that way to Guardians of the Galaxy, when a lot of the humor in Guardians of the Galaxy was just ridiculous. But not quite the same level as this movie. But, like, I mean,
I think-
obviously you had, like, a talking tree versus this time a sentient weasel or whatever.
Yeah, and I think the R rating might have helped that just because he could kind of do whatever he wanted.
Mhm.
He didn't have, like, because I feel like there are more absurd things you can do when you don't have to worry about it being, like, intended for younger audiences. Because he could do things with, like, violence and gore that you can't do in, like, a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, oh my god, wait. Hang on. I need to check something. But I honestly, I do really appreciate, I keep saying appreciate, I liked how he was able to use gore and everything, which you can't really do in, like, a Guardians of the Galaxy movie and stuff. Okay, but you know what? This is what I was Googling. I was Googling who directed Army of the Dead, because because Army of the Dead would have been epic, I think, if it was directed by James Gunn.
Yeah, wasn't it directed by Zack Snyder?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that, see, that was a movie when I was watching the intro, and I really liked how it was kind of comedic in itself with, like, how it was playing off of the whole Vegas thing, and it was like, oh, but here's the zombie apocalypse in Vegas, and it was using all, like, it was using that kind of, what do you call it when you have a soundtrack that has music that's just, like, songs from the outside world? What is that called? It's called a thing.
I mean, I typically just... There is a better word for it, but I just typically call it the soundtrack, and then when it's original music, I call it the original soundtrack, but isn't it, like, set list? Or no, that's not it.
It's like, there's an Oscar specifically for it, and I don't know what it is, and it'll come to me later, but it was using, like, Viva Las Vegas in the beginning and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I'm vibing with this. And then it just got depressing and annoying later on, and I was like, bro, come on, you could have been way funnier. And so, like, I'm just saying, I mean, like, if you wanna slay the sequel, guys, just switch it to James Gunn.
Is Zack Snyder directing the sequel?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, but okay, so there was another thing that I remember. The original Justice League, you know how it, like, sucked?
Yeah.
So I don't remember this guy's name. I don't know who it was, but they pulled on a different director, from, God, what was it? Because Zack Snyder had to leave because of something that happened in his family, and they tasked him with making it seem more like, what is it? More like the MCU. What was his name? God, what was his name? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm, like, not on my game right now.
Was it Joss Whedon?
Wait, yes. So Joss Whedon was, or I believe so. I think so. Yes, okay, so it was Joss Whedon. And they were like, okay, we want you to make this more like the MCU. They were like, we want you to make this remind people, because I think he did a couple of the Avengers movies. And they were like, we want you to turn this movie into the style of the MCU, because that's just so successful, you know? And it sucked. But, I mean, this movie translated really well into that kind of vibe, because it was the kind of vibe of, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, which I also got a lot with the transitions, you know, when they put the text up, because they would do that in some of the Guardians movies. But, like, I feel like that just kind of shows you, like, which things, like, some things translate and some things don't. And I definitely think that this was done well, and it translated into that style really nicely. And yeah.
I think I saw that Zack Snyder was one of the producers for this movie.
Really?
Yeah. I was shocked too.
I I'm seeing a Charles Roven and a Peter Safran. So I don't know. I don't pronounce names. We all know this. I struggle every time we do a movie that's not from America and I have to announce like actors' names. I'm like, But anyways, I do think that the directing did an amazing job. It really like shined through in his style, and I think it translated well to the characters and the story they were trying to tell, especially the soundtrack. I loved the soundtrack. What is it called? Is it a compilation soundtrack? Is that what it's called?
That sounds right.
But I mean, okay, what did you think of the soundtrack?
I tried looking it up in Oscar categories and it didn't work.
Oh. But what were your thoughts? I guess I know it's a little early for soundtrack questions, but
I know normally we don't get to this until the end. But I enjoyed it. I think it because I remember a lot of people were talking about how like atrocious the older Suicide Squad movie was for using licensed music, especially as a substitute to try and like introduce us to characters and like all the different things that were going on. And this movie did a far better job of introducing us to all of its different characters and building the scenario around it, that they didn't feel the need to just bombard us with like really like easy songs that like on a surface level matched what was happening. So they did that well. So I think even when they did go a little heavy on songs, it definitely worked to their advantage because it built on what they were doing instead of just trying to like slap a solution onto something and hope that it was like flex tape or whatever. So I enjoyed the soundtrack. It worked in this movie.
Yeah, I don't remember entirely what the songs were that they played in the original Suicide Squad movie, but I think that this one, it really lent itself well, especially, like, I remember in the intro, they were playing, what is that song? It was, like, those people who died, and I was like, oh, that's kind of, like, funny. But they also had, like, other songs throughout that were really, I think that they lended themselves well to the piece. Like, they didn't take away, like you said, but they were there, like, they were noticeable, like, you remembered them, without, like, distracting you, because it just added to the vibes, and it was, like, in the same vein, I guess, same aesthetic, and I thought that they did a really good job, and also, I discovered that compilation soundtrack is the correct term, so...
Jeopardy category, you get, I don't know, $100.
Heck yeah. If that's the 100 question, I'm screwed. But like, that's fine. But something else I did like and I did appreciate about this movie was costuming. It's pretty cool. So something that I've noticed is kind of like there's definitely been an evolution for like Harley Quinn, and I mean in the first movie she was like, it was like her outfit was like specific, like it said Daddy's a Little Monster on it. I don't know if there were any like comic book precedents, and if there were, just like, I don't know, smite me. But her first outfit was like definitely, I don't know. It was like, I don't know, not my favorite. It could have been. It didn't look like it was a very comfy fighting outfit. Not that her outfits in Birds of Prey were, but like it seemed less like she was trying to be sexy and more like she was trying to be Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey, which was cool. And then in this one, I really liked her dress. That was cool. Yes. I liked that she had the dress. And she had the didn't she have the suit that was kind of similar to the, like, I don't remember what it looked like. What? Yeah, no, she had a full body suit at the beginning, and it kind of looked like it reminded me of how she looks kind of in the comics, but like not really. Because
I agree with that. Because it was like a bomber jacket too, so it wasn't like the one piece with where you, like, normally you see kind of like the jester hat with it. Like, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But it had the same kind of color scheme where you had, like,
Mm-hmm.
the black and red on top, but then the red and black on the bottom and, like, different alternating patterns.
Yeah, no, I thought that it was a good, like, kind of evolution. Because also, especially since her character no longer revolves around her toxic relationship with Mr. J. So that's good.
No, and, like, while the dress maybe wasn't the most practical thing for a fight, it definitely seemed like an in-character thing for her to be wearing throughout the movie.
And oh my god, I want that Halloween costume. Like, that is such a good Halloween costume. Because also, it's like, I mean, it's not like, like, by the end of it, there wasn't much length to the dress, but also, it's not quite as little fabric as some of her past costumes were, like I mentioned. So when it's October, and it's, like, cold out, and you're gonna go trick-or-treating or whatever, like, a little warmer for you.
Yeah,
Or maybe I just want the dress.
I just want that dress, you know? Like,
it's such a pretty dress. Oh my god. I was like looking at it, I was like, dude, that's like actually a pretty dress. Like, they didn't put her in an ugly dress that's supposed to be pretty. It's like actually a pretty dress. And I was like, okay. Okay, then you do you. That's awesome.
But I liked the other costumes too. Sometimes I don't always like the DC costumes, like the costumes in Justice League I was not really a fan of. Sorry for all the people who worked really hard on them. I appreciate your work, but also they just weren't for me. But I didn't mind the costumes in this movie. Woohoo!
I thought some of them were funny. Like, I thought that the polka dot guy's costume was funny. A lot of them, like, especially at the beginning, those costumes were funny because, like, they were one-off characters. Peacemaker's outfit was funny, I thought, but, like, also not, but also was.
It was.
Wow, I mean, what was his name? Nanue, his costume? Amazing. Fantastic costume on. Yeah, I mean, Nanue, I love your costume, dude. You're really, like, killing it. Who else? Rick Flag. I don't know. I don't know what I felt about his costume, but I like his face. So there's that.
So speaking of the Peacemaker costume, I watched this movie with other people. I'm gonna get to Rick Flag. Don't worry. We're going back to him. But the people I was watching this with, we kept making fun of Peacemaker's outfit because it's totally something that, like, he would wear, but it looked like something that, like, his mom made him as a child so he could play superhero in the backyard. Like, it looked like he had put, like, a kitchen colander on his head, and that, like, it was, like, his dad's, like, trousers and, like a sewed shirt, and it was just really funny.
Yeah. Unfortunately, however, I didn't see Peacemaker this whole time. I think they should have, I don't know, I thought, because, like, here I was like, wow, I'm gonna see John Cena acting his awesomeness, and he's gonna be Peacemaker, it's gonna be really cool. Turn on the movie, there's no Peacemaker, he's just not there, just didn't see him.
Yeah, you just can't see him.
Which, like, also wasn't fair to Rick Flag. Like, how are you supposed to fight somebody who's invisible? That's not fair. That's not okay. Spoiler alert, Rick Flag is dead.
So mad about that.
I was so mad about that too! I was like, dude, you just lost the weird facial hair. Like, and now you're dead? What?
And he got a good haircut!
I know! I was like, dude, I just decided you were attractive and now you gotta die? Oh my god.
I was so mad because did you see the post-credit scene?
Wait, No?
You didn't know about the post-credit scene, Ava?
I didn't know about the post-credit scene. I didn't know how similar they were making this to the MCU then, I guess. Do you want to give me a little summary?
Sure, there wasn't that much going on. But there are like some of the people that was like in the control room with Amanda Waller, and they're in a hospital and they're talking to a doctor, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I heard that he was like a hero, like back in the place or whatever," and they're kind of setting it up like they're talking like Rick Flag's alive, but then they like pan to the hospital room and it's actually Peacemaker there, so he's not dead. Unfortunately, very upset about that.
Okay, so Peacemaker's alive and Rick Flag is dead?
Yup.
Boo!
I know. And I think it's because they want to do like a Peacemaker spinoff at some point, but honestly, I want that Rick Flag spinoff. I'm sorry. Would have been 10 times better. I already have an idea for what you could have done with it, but no, DC. You went with John Cena.
How are you supposed to make a movie like that when you just like can't see? Okay, never mind. I'm done with that joke. But no, I think that a Rick Flag spinoff, like, prettiness aside, I think that a Rick Flag spinoff would be way more entertaining and way more interesting than Peacemaker. And so as long as Peacemaker isn't getting a solo film while Rick Flag is dead, I probably won't have problems with it, because they can bring him back for another movie, that's fine. But like, if he gets a whole solo film, I feel like that'll be the wrong move compared to like if they wanted to do something with Rick Flag, because he's cool.
Well, just when they made people like Rick Flag and actually gave him a character, they were like, what if we just stabbed you in the heart? That's the right decision to make, and I don't agree.
See, not that I don't want. Not that I need, okay. Not that I need Harley Quinn to be in a relationship. But I thought, like, I was expecting for Rick Flag and Harley Quinn to end up together, and then Harley Quinn was finally gonna be in a healthy relationship. But that didn't happen, and I was disappointed. Because, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want her to end up with the Joker, because she can do better. But, like, I mean, the Joker's really cool, but, like, not the Jared Leto Joker. Like, if it was the Heath Ledger Joker, then maybe she would, like, maybe, you know? But also, I feel like he's too epic to be in a relationship either. But she could do so much better than the Jared Leto Joker, like, oh my god. So I was like expecting her to get with Rick Flag, but then they had barely any scenes together, which made me so sad because they were supposed to be friends. Same thing happened with like Captain Boomerang. Like, he was a big part of the first movie, and then he's like barely in this one. He just dies. I'm like, dude, he was cool too, and you just kill him. Whatever.
I do like how in the beginning they killed a bunch of people, and I know that sounds wrong, but remember, this is fiction. I can say that. But I do like that because they definitely set the scene of, here are these people you think are going to be the protagonists, and then most of them die, and it's like, oh haha, and they kind of just set up the idea already that people are going to die in this movie, and you should be a little tense as you watch, and as you're kind of getting closer to the characters, and you kind of remember like, oh wait, people could die, because they do.
Yeah. But still, annoyed. Rick Flag should have lived. Justice for Rick Flag. Also, Starro should have lived. They should have just launched him into space somehow. I don't know how, but he should have lived. Or she, I don't know. They should have lived because they're super cool. And they were in the right. Let's be real. They were tortured for their entire life. Starro is a victim. Come on, guys. Hashtag free Starro. Like, I don't know. I thought they were gonna find a way to launch him into space, not like kill them, but they did. They murdered them. and Starro went, and that was sad. I did appreciate that they killed Starro with rats, though. That was cool.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of the rats, I really liked Ratcatcher. Like, why is the rat character has the most wholesome, like, story arc of the movie?
Because rats are wholesome.
Fair enough.
Have you even seen Ratatouille, dude? Have you?
I have. I have
Don't
seen
look
Ratatouille.
at Remy. Don't look at Remy and say that he's not wholesome. Okay, don't look at Emile and be like, you're not wholesome. Maybe their dad, you can look at them and say he's not wholesome. But that's only like 1 out of 3. And their dad is trying, so he's also wholesome. So that's 3 for 3 right now. They're all wholesome. So yeah. Rats are wholesome. And that makes Ratcatcher 2 the most wholesome. And yeah.
You know, I feel like my favorite characters were Ratcatcher, King Shark, and then the Polka Dot Man.
I did really like King Shark. For some reason, there were these moments. Like, oh my god, the moment with the fish! And he was like, oh yay, friends!
Oh my gosh, but then they attacked him! Like, betrayal!
I felt so bad! I was like, how dare you touch Nanue? Or, what, it's Nanue?
Maybe?
Right? Googling really quick. King Shark.
I've just been calling him King Shark.
Nanue! Yes, I was so correct right then. Oh my god. The one name I can pronounce. But like, I was like, how dare you? You got his hopes up and now he's sad.
I didn't want him to die. I was getting really nervous that they were gonna find a way to kill him, but then they never did, and I was like, yes. Kill him.
I was kind of annoyed at the way that they killed the polka dot guy.
Me too, Ava. Me too.
His name was literally Polka Dot Man.
I mean, he had a name, but...
Yeah. His name is Your Mom. Hey, you know what that is? Your mom. It's just a giant mom. My god, his mom looked like... Or, not looked like, but like... Maybe kind of looked like... You remember... Did you see It? 1 or 2?
I'm familiar with them.
Okay, Eddie's mom.
Yeah. Before
That's
you even
like
said it, I knew what you were gonna say.
If Eddie was a DC character, he would be Polka Dot Man.
You're right, though.
Instead of taking his inhaler, he would be expelling the dots. But anyways, oh my god! But it was it bothered me that they he was like getting somewhere in his character arc, and then they're just like, you know.
Yeah, I think that was a little unnecessary. I think they just wanted like one more character death in the movie, and it was like, did you have to? You already killed Milton. Wasn't that enough bloodshed for you?
That wasn't even like a sad moment though. Like, I mean, Red Flags was sad. Yes. But like, they didn't give us a chance to be sad about Polka Dot Man. It's not like he had like a heroic moment or anything. It wasn't like a sad moment. We couldn't mourn because he just went and then that was it.
Yeah, if they let the fight scene go on a little longer with him, then maybe. But it was a little too abrupt for it to land right, I think. Because it wasn't funny because I was upset, but I wasn't like upset because there was so much going on that it kind of just got forgotten.
He could have been the one to go into Starro's eyeball and then not come out, though. if
yeah,
they
like,
wanted to.
blows it up from the inside.
Yeah, that would expels the dots inside. That would have been cool. I would have liked that more, because that would have been more meaningful. I mean, I know that Harley Quinn needed her moment because she's like the star, but also like, I mean,
She had her own movie.
yeah, she had her whole Birds of Prey moment, which also, why are none of the Birds of Prey characters in this movie? Come on now, they're cool. They're awesome. Get some
I
Huntress
hope we see them
actions, or
again. I
Huntress
really like the Birds
action.
of Prey characters.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I think that was it was either that or Invisible Man. I can't remember. It was the last movie I saw before quarantine, like in theaters. But yeah, no, I remember being kind of sad that her pigtails weren't as long in that movie, but like they kind of paid me back for that in this movie with her pigtails being even longer, which is cool. Oh my god, wait. Can we just, for a second, just talk about the fever dream that was that sequence of Harley Quinn with, what, the prince or something?
I forgot about that.
Like, I mean, I loved how that ended, but like, that whole sequence was just so bizarre. Not that the rest of this movie wasn't bizarre, but like, you know what I mean.
Bizarre in its own way.
It was really, like, random. The whole time I was like, how does she get into that dress in the trailer? And then they're like, put this on. I was like, They're like, marry me. I was like, And then she killed him, but then they killed the birds? Why would they kill the birds? The birds didn't do anything. The birds were nice. The birds deserve to live. I don't care if their owner was a D-bag or anything. Okay, I don't care if Harley Quinn killed their owner and he wasn't president anymore or whatever the heck their government did as like a leader or something. The birds deserve to live. And that's all.
They're with Rick Flag now.
Okay, fine. I'll let you live. It's fine. Oh my god. But like, seriously, why'd they gotta kill him, man? Man, why'd you gotta kill him? He didn't do anything wrong. He was like a good guy. And we liked him, so why he gotta die? Explain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they went out there and they, like, killed a character that we've actually been getting closer to throughout the movie and that the audience doesn't want to die. But, like, am I happy about that? No, I'm not.
Like, I'm sorry, but it's annoying. And I wanted him to live because he was cool. And now the next couple of movies are going to be just that much more lame because he's not going to be in it. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah, because it was cool because he was finally starting to, like, chafe against the government and, like, Amanda Waller and everyone even more than he had in the previous movies. And he was kind of getting his own... Wait, I can't use the term I want here because I shouldn't. But he was getting, like, not so much, like, a villain kind of downfall, but getting a little anti-hero-ish. And I was like, okay, some people are having an influence on you, Flag. I see it. And then they were like, no, that's not cool enough. And then they killed him.
But it also kind of bothers me, though, that they didn't end up releasing that thing to the press. Like, I get that they had to make a deal with Waller, but, like, still, I wanted that to get released to the press. But I know, you need a sequel, blah, blah, blah. But, like, come on, dude. Like, that was his, like, dying wish. He died to release that to the press. And you're like, no.
Maybe they're holding on to that for the sequel. Maybe in the sequel they're gonna go back against Amanda Waller and release it to the press.
Better. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I was just like thinking about a thing that I saw on Instagram that said that David Dastmalchian, or however you pronounce his name, we've been over this, data names, anyways, that he was the key to the true multiverse. And I mean, I appreciate that a lot.
Oh yeah, because he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
And Gotham, and The Flash, and like some animated Batman stuff. It's like,
oh
wow,
wait,
he's really.
He was in Gotham. Who was he in Gotham?
He was like that guy who put Jerome's face on his.
Oh yeah! He was like the Cult of Jeremiah guy.
Yes.
He really was the key to the multiverse. He was the blueprint. No wonder he had to get killed by Starro. He was too powerful.
we need a spin-off of just him. But like you know, Into the Spider-Verse? Can we call this like Into the David-verse or something?
We need an episode of What If that just follows the guy from Ant-Man and the Wasp as he gets sucked into all these other different things.
That would be so good. And like I don't know. I haven't even watched the second episode of What If yet. Because that came out today, didn't it? I haven't watched it yet. I need to.
I haven't watched any of the episodes. I don't even know if I still have Disney Plus.
Oh, that'd be really sad if you didn't.
I think I'm just gonna wait for it all to come out, though.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Because then you can binge watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who else is the key to the multiverse? I don't know how to pronounce it. Idris Elba? I don't know. All I know is that he's Heimdall. And he's cool. And we like Heimdall. So
Heimdall brought him and David into the other different places.
Oh my god, is my can you hear my dog like loud?
Yes.
This is like really loud. I don't know why she's being so loud right now. She's not usually this loud, especially when I'm recording. I mean, you can hear her when I'm recording a lot, but like, not this loud. Like, it sounds like she's in my room. Now she's squeaking a toy. That's fun. But, yeah, so that's cool. Wait, can we also talk about the animation quality of, like, Starro?
Yes.
Because, see, here's the thing. When I was watching, like, Justice League and stuff, versus, like, something like Infinity War, I was like, the animation kind of is really bad compared to, like, MCU stuff. And not all MCU stuff, I'll give it that. But, like, I mean, I just have personally thought that the quality of VFX in the MCU has outshined the VFX in the DCEU for a while. But Starro was like really good, as was the gore. The gore was also really nice, and I don't know how much of that was practical, but I'm pretty sure that Starro was almost entirely impractical, probably 100% what is it, computer generated or something. But I thought it was really good. It, like, the texture looked real. I thought that there was a lot of detail, especially the eyeball part. That was awesome. Like, when she, like, climbed out, oh, that was so cool.
You know, Starro looked very good. Like, I kept forgetting that it was, like, CGI. Like, not, like, I didn't see a frame where I was like, ooh, that, like, took me out of the movie. Like, it existed. And, like, it's good CGI when you don't think about it, and I didn't think about it.
When you first said I forgot that it was CGI, I was just thinking to myself, does Jenna think that giant starfish monsters are real? Is this like a thing?
Hey, we don't know that. They could be. It came from space.
Okay, just as long as the American government isn't like fishing out starfish from space that have eyeballs and bringing them back to Earth. Like, that's like the stupidest thing you can do.
Yeah, like, why would you bring it back? Well, actually, I could think of many reasons why America would think that was a good idea, but why?
No, but especially when you see it getting bigger, probably, like, make it go by.
Shoot it
Like,
back into space. Just go. Keep
like,
going.
once it gets too big for you to manage, you know you got an issue. And, like, once you see that all it does is, like, suck on people's faces, I feel like you're pretty much good. Like, you know, you understand. Also, I thought all the people who caught him were, like, dead. That's what I got from that first video. It was like, oh, all these people caught him and got, sucked into his face, and now they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay, but the fact that Starro's death was sadder for me than Polka Dot Man made me sad. I mean, well, that's kind of part of being sad, but, yeah. Because he was like, I was happy watching the stars, and then it was depressing. Whereas, like, Polka Dot Man was just like, you know?
Continued sound effect for Polka Dot Man. I'm sorry. But no, you're right.
What?
Like, it is a bummer. But I mean, like, you see, like, so many movies try to go for these, like, super, like, characterized and, like, sympathetic villains, and it doesn't always work out. Meanwhile, James Gunn is over here like, we're gonna have this massive CGI starfish, but we're gonna give it one line at the end, and it's gonna be super sad, and people are gonna be upset about the starfish dying. Like, come on, man.
Like, just, I mean, the way that Starro captured my heart like that, like, come on, dude, you're so awesome, and I love you, and I would never take you away from your home in space, as long as you don't, suck on my face. That would be really nice. I will help you go back home, just don't, like, eat my face. I thought that was what was gonna happen. I thought they were gonna be like, since Starro was able to talk through the other person, I thought they were gonna be like, hey, person, what if we just tried to help you get back into space? Would you, like, be okay with that? Would you try not to kill a bunch of us? I thought they were gonna try to reason with him a little bit, you know? But they didn't, and that was kind of sad. Because I was like, you're giving this character the opportunity to speak. Well, they were giving the character the opportunity to speak, which I thought they were gonna give, like I thought that they were gonna take advantage of Starro's ability to speak through the people, in a way that would let them.
Starro and the Suicide Squad would have had something in common.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would have been interesting to see a little communication between the two of them, but they didn't go for that, which I understand why, but I also wish that they did something different.
Yeah. And I get they didn't want to drag anything on, but I felt like nothing in this movie was really dragged on either, though. Like, I feel like the pacing was pretty good, too. It was very fast-paced, but that was also, like, that's also to be expected when you have, like, an ensemble group, instead of, like, a couple of main characters, so you can't, like, hone in on too many emotional scenes with, like, too many of them that go on for too long. So it was very, like, boom, 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 boom as you were going through, so they couldn't really dwell on much in the climax. But, like, it would have been nice to see a little bit more of those emotional, like, heart-to-heart scenes, I guess. Like, not even with Starro, but, like, any of them. Like, say you wanted to give, like, Rick Flag something, I don't know, like, give him a little extra something to do.
Yeah, Rick Flag needed, like, a little something more, because I feel like his death did make me sad, but also at the same time I'm trying to think about, like, the different scenes that he had in this movie, and it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, that's also part of the reason why I was annoyed that he died, is because, like, he has a lot of potential to be a really cool character, and they showed us a lot of that potential, but not enough of that. Like, they didn't give us enough to actually make him achieve that potential. Like, he wasn't there yet, and then they killed him, and that's the annoying part, because I was sad, but then I got, like, annoyed, because, like, come on, dude, this is, like, you're really cool, but they're not letting you be cool, and it was annoying.
They held you back, man.
Like, what? I mean, I get when people kill main characters and stuff, but he hadn't, like, achieved main character dumb yet, you know? I mean, because I don't really count anything that happened in the first Suicide Squad as, like, actual, like, bona fide character development, except for Harley Quinn, because they gave her an origin story. But like all that he did was just like be I don't know, tough. He was a tough guy. But then Harley was all sad at the end about him being dead and stuff. But I was like, why didn't you give them even one scene together? Like, of just them. Which they definitely could have. Like, they had the room for it. Well, I mean, even if they just wanted to make it a couple minutes longer of a movie, because I don't want them to get rid of anything that they put in. Because it was pretty jam-packed. But, like, they could have. They could have given them, like, one scene. One conversation. That's all I want.
There was the time on the beach when they're getting shot at and they were sheltering at the same place, like 30 seconds. You could have at least given us like 30 seconds of them like having like an actual like quick moment before Harley Quinn goes off and like gets the javelin.
Yeah. I just wanted more from good old Rick Flag. If you're not gonna give us a spin-off, maybe they should give him a prequel. Come on, pull a Black Widow for him. Just him. Just
but
give
no,
him
he wasn't
something.
interesting before. He only got interesting now.
No, he wasn't interesting before because that was the bad version of the movie. He could have had an interesting origin story if it was written well and directed by somebody cool.
Or, wait, well this wasn't the first mission that, like, the Suicide Squad, like, went on. So, like, you could give us, like a prequel where he's going on different missions with all these different, like, villain characters. And becoming a little more jaded or something.
I thought that the first mission that the Suicide Squad went on was the first Suicide Squad. Like, that movie against the Enchantress or whatever.
Yeah, so, like, this, like, in this movie, like, the mission they go on, like, there have been missions before that, and they kind of have a system and a routine.
I don't know. I feel like even if they were just giving him a prequel, like, before the first Suicide Squad, like, before any of that happened, even if they were just doing that, I feel like they could make him cool. Because I feel like he was just not cool in that first movie because they didn't write him to be cool, but he could have been cool. And they can give him origin stuff that makes him cool, you know?
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, Rick Flag prequel.
They should make you the writer.
I know. Actually, no, they should make you the writer.
They should not make me the writer.
But you're the writer extraordinaire.
That is also not true.
But it is true.
Have you read anything I have written?
Yes, I have, and it's good.
Glad one of us thinks so.
Because you read so many books. It's because you're a book nerd.
That does help, typically, yes.
That was the weirdest laugh I've ever done before. I was just like, hee hee hee, but like actually laughing like that. That was strange.
I was wondering, what did you think of last week's?
I haven't finished listening to it all the way through. I'm sorry. I have not finished listening to the episode that you did. I started it, and it's, like, really fun. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're doing such a good job. Wow, that's really entertaining, which anybody who hasn't listened to that episode should go listen, and then you can be, like, in the same boat as me. But since I got home this weekend, I haven't had a chance to, like, sit down for, like, the whole hour and, like, just, like, devote my attention all to just, like, you and Josh and your amazingness.
Did you get to the Tom Holland comment yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, Josh was wondering what you thought of that.
I will listen longer today, and I will get back to you, because I feel like I would have noticed if you guys started talking about Tom Holland. But anyways, yeah, so y'all should go listen to that amazing piece of art. My dog's being loud again, that's fine. But yeah, I think that's all we have for this week. Do you have more stuff to say? Anything we didn't talk about yet?
No, I mean, again, I really liked the character work in this movie and how they were able to handle such a large cast and how they subverted audience expectations with said cast. But, I mean, we touched on all of that, and we did discuss some of the different characters. So, no, I think I'm good.
Cool beans. Well, anyways, guys, if you made it this far, thank you. That's amazing. We love you so much. It means a lot. It would also mean a lot if you would hit that like button and subscribe. That'd be super cool as well. Leave a comment if you also liked the Suicide Squad, and if you have any thoughts that either coincide with what we've said here or maybe they conflict and you want to share your thoughts, because we don't really have that much in the ways of lives. I don't, at least. So if you want to have a conversation in the comment section, I will most definitely answer. And then, yeah, if you're not on YouTube right now, you can come over to YouTube and subscribe. You can also probably follow us on whatever platform you're on, because that's super cool. Hi. But if you're on YouTube and you subscribe, that makes sure that you don't miss out on any of our other content. Because, I mean, we post podcasts here every week. We also do weekly regular videos-ish, unless, like, things come up, which I'm sorry. I apologize for missing the video this week.
I apologize for missing my video last week.
It's fine. We're doing great. I mean, that's a thing that we do. You can also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. On TikTok, we just post little highlight reels. I usually spam it like every once in a while. I'll just like forget to do it for several weeks, and then I'll just like go on and do a bunch like every day for a whole week. It's not very consistent, but I do that. Twitter, we're trying to do positive movie reviews for movies that we don't necessarily talk about on the channel. So like, I just saw Free Guy. I left a little thing about what my favorite thing about that movie was, so you can go check that out too. Instagram, we're rebuilding our Instagram. We're trying to figure it out, so that's not very active right now, but you can still follow it if you want. That would make us very happy. Also, we're planning some things. We have some things in the works, some interesting stuff that we want to get finished for you guys. So you won't miss that when it actually happens if you're subscribed here and if you follow us and all that stuff, because we'll definitely promote it. But I think that's all. I think that's the whole spiel. Yeah, once again, we love you so much. If you made it this far, it really does mean a lot. If you do all the like, comment, subscribe, share stuff, all that stuff, it really does help the channel. And yeah, so that's all for this week, guys. Jenna, anything to add?
You know, the ending of this movie kicked in and I was like, Godzilla versus Kong who?
Okay, bye!